I am a complete out of the ordinary dad. I have 5 little kiddos, and a minivan is really the only vehicle that logistically makes sense for a family of my size. Yes, we could get away with some huge SUV, but there's always compromises, and sliding doors with a family as well as the cargo space that a minivan offers is just unbeatable. And the Honda Odyssey is getting another refresh. We'll talk a little bit about what comes after the Honda Odyssey, the current generation, here at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. And I will be getting this vehicle, the 2025 refresh Odyssey, as a long-term loaner from Honda. Stay tuned if you're a minivan person, a minivan freak like me, and you want to see long-term updates of my short-term ownership, I guess you could say, roughly, with the new Odyssey. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like button for the Odyssey. The Odyssey is probably Cassie and I's favorite minivan in terms of space and layout. It's just really easy to work with the kids in it. There's a lot of pass-through space for the front passengers. You can take out the second row of seats, as we'll talk about here in a little bit. It's a Swiss Army knife. You could argue it makes a better truck than the Ridgeline. And, the new Ridgeline, we'll get some more information on that after the new Passport is revealed later this year. Before we get into this press release too far into the pricing, the packaging, that sort of thing, I need to get into the images. We do have a revised styling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare previous or pre-refresh to current, or should I say the 2025, and we'll see what the differences are. All right, below is a 2021 Honda Odyssey. As far as I know, I don't think we've seen any major updates to the styling since then. And so what do we have? Let's just start with the front end. All right. Well, we have a blacked out front bezel. Now we got a sport model, I think in 2023, where it had black features as well. So we have this new grille around the Honda logo. The headlights look to be exactly the same. For a refresh, it would have been nice to have some new headlights. This fog light area, it is more pronounced, a little bit more sporty here on the new one. And we have this big intake here underneath the main grille. It looks pretty good. It's kind of like the minivan version of a hood scoop. All right. And then we have the very iconic modern styling of Hondas right now, which is using the honeycomb pattern. We see it on the Civic. You see it on the new Passport Trail Sport styling. You see in just pretty much all the newer Honda vehicles, the honeycomb styling. All right. Yeah, it looks a lot better from the front end, but are people really going to be able to tell the difference between the two? Since the headlights are the same, I'm probably going to say that your average person is not going to be able to tell the difference. For me, the easiest way to tell the difference, does it have this big extra scoop for air intake here underneath the grille? It carries over the same 3.5 liter V6. A lot of Sienna owners out there, or previous Sienna owners out there, that like the V6, they don't want the only hybrid. You still have that option here on the Odyssey. You have it on the Chrysler Pacifica as well, and then you also have it on the Kia, but the Kia now offers a hybrid and Honda still does not, which we'll talk about the future of the Odyssey, like I said, at the end. We have new styling of the wheels. The body styling is pretty much identical. Let's go ahead and go. I mean, the mirrors are identical, it looks like. So let's go and look at the back end of the minivan. Here is, this is a Sport 2023 we have down at the bottom. We're supposed to have a revised rear styling for the 2025 here. And let's get into it. What's different about it? Well, the taillights look to be the same. They might be smoked out a little bit more. It's hard to tell. But honestly, it looks identical in the taillight area, the windshield wiper area. The rear bumper, instead of having horizontal reflectors here at the bottom, they are now vertical. And of course, this is the Elite, so it has a parking sensors. And we have this more aggressive rear bumper at the bottom, but the sheet metal for the rear hatch looks to be the same. It's just the bottom bumper here is the only thing that's changed. The lights are the same. So it's just another minor refresh, I would say, for the styling. We have this new black and white interior. We'll get more into that in a little bit, but I want to compare the new interior versus the old interior, see if we have any big changes here. Now, of course, press release will give us a little bit more details, but let's zoom in on the screen. The screen is different now. The volume knob has changed. This is the volume knob you see now, and I think the Civic has this. This is the volume knob I think you see in like the Ridgeline or something. All right, it's pretty small. We have seek buttons down here underneath the volume knob, which I much prefer. Well, they've also upgraded the processor here to this screen, and you can see this is Android Auto here, but the base software is the same as the old. So it doesn't have Google built in. Like I think what the new Civic Hybrid has Google built in. The Accord top of the line has Google built in. The new Passport will have Google built in. So I just double checked on the press release. I didn't see anything about Google built in, but this icon right here and this icon right here makes me think that there might be a Google built in here. So stay tuned for that. The screen looks to be a little bit bigger. This is a 9-inch screen, and again, this just doesn't look as clear. I know the processor is faster now. Let's move on from the screen. I wish it was bigger. I'll say that. It is seemingly bigger than the old screen, but it's not big enough, in my opinion, for the competition that it's up against. Should have a 12-inch screen or something. Looking at the climate control, it has been improved. Look how much wider it is. They have more buttons, it seems like. It's pretty much the same, though. More buttons, more rear control, it looks like. And the switches here look to be the same. The screen here for climate control looks to be the same. We still have push button start, heated and ventilated seats on the Elite trim. Anything else here? No, it looks pretty much identical. Now, I believe the Elite had ambient lighting in previous years, but it may have been upgraded here. It's just a lot more visible on the door handles, through the dash, through the floor. It looks like we have a slightly new trim on the dash. We have like kind of this carryover of faux wood. It might be exactly the same, but it looks a little bit busier here on the new one. But I guess I have to wait to see with the naked eye. All right, let's look at the steering wheels. The overall shape and design is the same, but we do have newer button layout here that fits more in line with, let's say, the Civic's sort of identity. Heated steering wheel buttons in the same spot, cup holders, that sort of thing. It's all going to be carryover. The new gauge cluster versus the old gauge cluster. In Florida, if I remember, like the old one is super reflective and it's hard to read. There's like this big plastic dome over the front of this screen. It looks like that's gone. I'm hoping so anyways. And just we have more information that's going to pop up here on the new screen. So this is a 7-inch screen here, I believe. And then you have the physical speedometer on the right. I have no problem with it. You have a digital speedometer in the middle. It looks good. And some of you were saying, hey, Kirk, it would have been nice to get a fully digital 10 or 12-inch screen in the back. I agree. Looks like we're going to have to wait till a new generation and probably 3 or 4 years from now. The Odyssey, one of the reasons we liked it so much is it had a Blu-ray player in it. And I'm old school. We like DVDs. We like bringing them along. But we actually have been walking away from any sort of in-car entertainment. The kids can get car sick. When we took away the in-car entertainment, it's cute. The kids talk more, actually have conversations. So it's good. And now they're getting old enough to read. So, but again, our kids get car sick, so we don't even recommend for them to read too much in the car. Anyways, we have a 12-inch screen here for the infotainment, replacing this smaller. This looks like a 9 or 10-inch screen here, but it looks like the Blu-ray is gone. I'll double check in the press release, but it looks like it is gone. You also have the little cabin camera here. The cabin camera carries over, right? But this is going to be kind of sad for some people who like the Blu-ray disc drive. Now, Blu-ray being gone, they relocated the HDMI to inside of the center console. So I have a portable DVD player, and the screen's so small, I don't really need Blu-ray quality. So I can just take my portable DVD player, plug it in through a USB, plug it in through HDMI. That's what we've done with the Sienna hybrid in the past, because that doesn't have a DVD player or Blu-ray player. So that's just a cheap workaround. Those DVD players like $20-$30, really simple to do. Now in the email Honda sent us, here's a couple bullet points. Odyssey continues as a retail #1 minivan in America this year. What does retail mean? Well, selling to actual customers, not to fleets, not to big businesses, things like that, not rental companies. Odyssey represents 1/3 of all segment sales for minivans. That's impressive because there are 4 minivans on the market and they have 1/3 of the market. They're doing well. Odyssey sales were up 32% in June with nearly 40,000 sold in the first 6 months of the year. All right, here are the 4 grades. All right, we have EXL, which after destination is $43K, Sport L, which is $44K, Touring, which is $48K, and Elite, which is $52K. All right, let's get into the new things for 2025. The redesigned rear bumper that we already showed says that it has the same vertical reflectors used on the second gen Acura NSX supercar. So I don't know. How I see that is like, yeah, I guess that's cool, but they're just like, hey, we got these extra NSX parts laying around. Let's find a way to put it in a refreshed Odyssey. Every 2025 Odyssey gets new wheel designs, including the top of the line Elite, which gets new 19-inch alloys. We have two new colors, solar silver metallic and smoke blue pearl. That 9-inch screen that we saw, comparing it to the old touchscreen, it is standard. And again, there's no optional larger screen, but faster performance with a new processor, wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, wireless phone charger, and more USB-C ports throughout the cabin. And those USB-Cs change per trim level, right? Because if we look at the Touring, they get an additional USB-C port for third row passengers. Well, let's get into the EXL. It comes standard with leather upholstery. So if you want an Odyssey with cloth, there's no option for you, which is quite surprising, but maybe they know what their customers want. Let's put the highlighter on. It has a standard moonroof on the base grade, power tailgate, power adjustable heated front seats, and Odyssey's exclusive Magic Slide second row seats that fold nearly flat, making them easier to remove and enhancing cargo options. For example, they have this picture. Let's go ahead and put this up for you guys. Yeah, look amazing. You can put sheetrock in here. You can put plywood. That's pretty incredible. And then you can also see USB-Cs here on the side. Well, two on the right, one on the left. And this has always been a little bit of a ding for the Odyssey, in my opinion, is that the vents are on the side of the vehicle instead of the roof, right? We have climate control on the roof for the back rows, but where are the vents in the top? That's what I want to see in the next generation Odyssey. These vents are okay here. They're not ideal. They're actually less than ideal here. They should really be up top for the second row. The third row, I think this is passable. So the Sport L includes a blacked out look with darkened taillights, redesigned black 19-inch wheels, which I would prefer over the machine finish ones on the Elite, for example. Lots of glossy black trim here on the Sport L. Now the Sport L just comes with black leather sporty red contrast stitching. The headliner's black as well. So as much as I would like to have these 19-inch wheels that are black, I hope Honda hooks me up with not the Sport L, because this black interior would be hot as you know what down here in Florida. Sport L features USB-C ports in the third row. So the base grade does not get USB ports in the third row. And the EXL, for example, Sport L gets it in the third row. Touring is going to add an additional USB port for third row passengers. So it looks like 3 USB-Cs in the back, which is pretty crazy. So getting into the Touring, you do have satellite linked nav system, which there's some people that live out in the sticks or plan on taking road trips in remote areas that would come in handy for. But those systems, if I remember right, those are subscription based. So you also have cabin watch here where you can, creep on your kids with the camera system, 13-inch screen for the entertainment system. We also have third row sunshades here and contrast stitching and piping in all 3 rows. I'm interested to see what kind of interior colors we have on that Touring. The top end Elite has a 2-tone perforated leather seats with piping, ventilated front seats, heated steering wheel, premium audio system, rain sensing wipers, hands-free power tailgate, so the little kick to close, and auto dimming side mirrors. It's unfortunate auto dimming side mirrors is not standard. I figured something like that would be standard on the base grades. All right, all 25 Odysseys have the tried the true, the 280 horsepower, 3.5-liter V6, and the 10-speed automatic with, for those who are racing with their Odysseys, the paddle shifters. We have Honda Sensing Suite, but I don't know if it's the newest generation of Honda Sensing Suite, but we have collision mitigation braking system, advanced pedestrian detection, forward collision warning, lane keep assist, road departure mitigation, lane departure warning, and adaptive cruise control with low speed follow. Where is the Honda Odyssey made? The 5th gen Odyssey is made in Lincoln, Alabama, alongside the Pilot, the Passport, the Ridgeline. It's stablemates. The V6 is manufactured in Alabama. The 10-speed auto is manufactured in Tallapoosa, Georgia, if I said that right. So let's get into the history of the Odyssey real quick and what's going on, right? I'm not going to cover too much the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th generations. I still see a lot of these 2nd generations rolling around here in South Florida. 3rd generations as well. Not so much the 1st gen. Those are pretty, those are like unicorns, so you can find one. 4th generation came around. It ended in 2017. This generation lasted 7 model years, the 4th generation. On to the 5th generation, 2018. So 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, I'm trying to get in the camera, 23, 24, 25, we get a refresh. So we're on the 8th model year, where the previous generation got a redesign on the 7th, and instead of a redesign, Honda's given us a refresh, which will last 2-3 more years. Okay, so 25, 26, 27 should carry over with this generation. So we're not looking at a new Odyssey until 2028. 2028 for a new Odyssey. Here are the pros. Well, this thing you could argue is the most reliable minivan on the market and maybe the best built because it's been in production for so long. And they are really not changing anything on the inside or the outside majorly. You could say this thing is going to last you a long time. That has the 10-speed auto in it. I like that transmission. We see that in a lot of Acuras. We see it in the Honda Pilot. You see it in the MDX, for example. I mean, Honda's like, hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So don't expect a new Odyssey until 2028. And Honda's just kind of, playing the long game here. They're already selling well. They don't need to do anything radical. By 2028, we don't know what the market's going to look like. Is it going to be full-on hybrid market, or are we going to have a shift from the current EV market, which is in a big lull, and are we going to go to a more electrified market? Now, we have the Space Hub concept. Let me bring that up for you. Honda has this weird-looking minivan thing that's fully electric that could very well replace the Odyssey. So maybe they're just like, hey, we're going to just freshen up the Odyssey a little bit more until a fully electric Odyssey comes out. The thing is, as a family man and taking road trips to Disney, I don't want to do it in electric minivan. I would love a Honda hybrid minivan or a Honda plug-in hybrid minivan. But to do it in electric minivan, I do not want to think about it. I have 5 kids. Planning a trip is hard enough. Don't add on all the extra nannying I have to do with the vehicle in order to plan charging, sit at a charging stop for an hour, or who knows how long it'll be, because are those chargers full? Are they working? Who knows, right? I don't have to worry about those things when I have a car full of kids. And I hope Honda's not just saying, hey, here's the Odyssey for 3 more years with a V6, and then we're going to give you this fully electric thing. Now, this vehicle is coming. Will it fully supplant the Odyssey? We don't know. But this is going to be battery electric. Here's the Space Hub. That's all we have for next generation idea or concept of a minivan from Honda. And it's kind of like their Cybertruck of minivans. Okay, it does have a sliding door. I was worried for a second. So I don't know. I would love to see this sort of design. I like the design. Call me crazy. It's super smooth looking. It looks very spacious. I just don't know if Honda would be able to offer a BEV version of this alongside a plug-in hybrid or a hybrid. And like I said, I don't want a BEV minivan anytime soon until infrastructure is better in the United States and charging's faster. Honda, thanks for giving the Odyssey some attention. I can't wait to have it as a long-term loaner to find out how amazing it is for my family. And also find out, can I fit a Grom in there? What kind of fuel economy am I going to get? I want to take it to Disney, that sort of thing. I want to see how good the Odyssey can be as the family workhorse. And I know it's going to be really, really good. But yes, I can't wait to do it in the 2025. And then maybe this vehicle replaces it by 2027, 2028. It's hard to say. I want to see you guys down below. Do you want a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid? Odyssey over fully battery electric. And I think I know where most of you guys are going to stand there. Thank you guys for watching. Long live the Honda Odyssey. Smash the like button if you haven't. I would appreciate that. And stay tuned. I got some more Honda news for you guys this week. Peace.